Okay, apologies for the lack of content the last couple of weeks. Haven't been particularly feeling the best with illness and going to work, so I've been a bit under the weather. But we've been making some additions to the sports memorabilia collection. I'm going to start with the really old stuff, the fun stuff, and then we're going to move on to some more generic, your average sporting merchandise that we picked up during doing my job, which is household waste, which is being a bin man. And this is amazing what people throw out, not realising that it's collectible. So, the most intriguing items that I have, ironically, do chart some of the changes that professional sport had and still continues to have now with sponsorships, advertising, and commercialisation. So I'm going to start with a thing called the Football League Review, which was a weekly magazine which you could get from your newsagents back in the 60s and the 70s. Here we go. The colour versions are at the front, the old black and white versions are at the back. Now I'm going to take one of the colour versions, which is from I think the early 70s or really late 60s, and one from the mid 60s. Now this one's from 1966, the season after England win the World Cup. November the 5th, the week ending of November the 5th. It's in black and white. Now there is some advertising, on the inside, not anything overly interesting advertising wise. But notice, no alcohol, no tobacco sponsorship. So that's the old one. Fast forward to the end of the decade, beginning of the 70s. Tobacco sponsorship. So the first page on the inside, tobacco sponsorship. On the back, tobacco sponsorship. And this is where big corporations start really leaving their mark on the sponsorship side of sport. So there's a good couple of years worth of the Football League Review. Good couple of years worth, and you can see mid-60s, late 60s, early 70s, black and white gives way to colour, and the sponsorship changes. So the inside of the advertising on the inside, you've got, let's have a look, Team of the Week, Blackpool, you've got Triplex Foundries Group, so that's a construction firm. Football League Review a couple of years later, Embassy Players number 10. Filter cigarettes, then you've got, Pontins for £10 a week, holiday at Pontins, Wilkinson Sword, that's obviously razor blades, and you can see suddenly the advertising, there's quite a bit of advertising. You've got, again, tobacco sponsorship, and that's within a couple of years. Fast forward a decade to the 80s, Rothmans, British American Tobacco, or is it Imperial Tobacco? Can't remember. They've now got in the act of producing their own football annuals. So this is the 81-82 football yearbook. This is all the stats from 1888 all the way through till 1980-81 season. So we're talking when Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa are challenging Liverpool to be the top clubs in England. And that was the 12th edition. So they made this for a good while. Found that is quite fun. I've still got to do a York City video, and that is the 81 season. That's when they finished bottom of the Football League at the bottom of Division 4. But this is before promotion relegation to the non-league, so York City were the worst team in the Football League in the 80-81 season. So if you're a York City fan, I feel your pain. Fast forward 30 years, and then we get the 20th anniversary of the Champions League magazine released. In relation to the Champions League anniversary being 20 seasons in, 92 to 2012. Now, in this, there's actually no adverts. This is purely every team and every player that have played in the Champions League in the first 20 seasons. Now, this is fun. This is a landmark thing because obviously we've now had 30 years of the Champions League. 9 years' time will be 40 years. 19 years' time, 50 years. So these landmark moments, they're kind of cool. So that's a lot of the really fun memorabilia. Now we're getting onto the more generic, everyday stuff you can buy from a club shop. So keep it simple, QPR beanie. Someone brand new, still had the price tag on it when we found it, a QPR beanie. So someone obviously didn't like their QPR present, but brand new, never used. That was thrown out. Now for the rugby union fans, because I can't leave you guys out, we have a Harlequins flag. I'm going to start hanging some of my memorabilia up. Like things like flags and posters, but there's a Harlequins flag. My dad was a Harlequins fan, so that's actually kind of nice. One of my local football clubs, I've got two of these. Reading, they're going through a bit of crisis at the moment. There's one Reading flag, and then there's another Reading flag. So they actually look like corner flags that someone pinched, but they are actually flags that you can buy at the stadium. And then a brand new Manchester United blanket. So we've got that. So I'm going to start hanging. I think I'm going to actually start hanging some of this memorabilia up. Now, also, yes, we've added some new items to the collection. We've also hit 1,100 subscribers today as well. Now, I haven't produced any content for 2 weeks, so view figures have crashed. It's August, it's that time of year, and it seems to be that time of year where I always seem to get a summer cold. I've been unwell, but we've now actually hit 1,100 subscribers, so thank you. And there's some new additions to the the sports memorabilia collection. Now, what is that? I think the most interesting ones are the Rothmans Football Annual and the Football League Review, because that actually does chart how the corporate side of things, the big money comes in with bigger sponsors coming in with more money behind them, and the change in the dynamic. Now, I mean, look, tobacco sponsorship, and when I talk about advertising, the first page is a tobacco sponsor. The next advert, Pontins, your cheap holiday vouchers, and then we get the big, toiletry brands, Wilkinson Sword, big company, and then they get another Wilkinson Sword, and then you get oh look, York City. There you go, you get a free York City poster as well, in there. Another tobacco brand sponsor, another tobacco brand, and then you get car ad, Reliant Supervan, and then you get an advert to join the army, and then you get various other bits, and then finally another tobacco sponsor. So a lot of the sponsorship money that was coming into football in the early 70s and into the 80s was from tobacco companies, because, as I say, the Rothmans Annual, unheard of today. They banned tobacco sponsorship 20 years ago, 25 years ago. We're now having the same debate about gambling sponsorship in professional sport, but the debate was there 20 years ago with tobacco. So there we go. There's a brief look at the new memorabilia, and of course the channel's now hit 1,100 subscribers. And thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.